Okay, so as promised, we're going into grappling today. We're going to start from the bottom position. A lot of times this is the most, one of the more common scary positions to be in. You got a bigger guy on top of you just pounding in. You can't really rely on patience and smooth technique. Sometimes you just kind of got to go for it. If you got a guy on top of you, and even if he's about the same weight and he's posted well, it's going to be really hard to get him off if he knows what he's doing. All he has to do is know how to control his weight on top of you, okay? Now, if you train jiu-jitsu all the time, you know other techniques. That's awesome. And if you stick around for the 745 class, you'll see other techniques too. But to get up quickly is probably the best technique that you can employ on the ground, okay? To do that, we're going to bite, we're going to gouge, we're going to rip, we're going to groin strike, whatever we have to do to get the person off of us, okay? It's a lot easier to do that than try to match muscle with them. Today, I'm going to start from the mount. This is a common thing, like I said, because sometimes we go to the ground. Sometimes you get tackled, sometimes you get blindsided, all right? So Mir's going to start in the mount here. What I'm going to do first and foremost is buck him forward and wrap him up. I wrap him up so that if he sits up, he can't just sit up and pound my face in, because this is not going to last very long. One hit comes in, boom, my head skips off the pavement, brain swelling, blood in the brain, stuff like that, very nasty stuff. So I got to buck him forward and make sure that I'm tight on him, which is where our first move is going to be, is a bite either to the love handle area or to the chest, depending on how far forward he is and how much you grab. If I grab more behind the back, I have to latch on to my forearm here. I don't want to grab with my fingers interlaced. I grab on here, so if he wants to sit up, he's got my whole body to deal with. And I can bite from here. After you bite, don't just nibble and let him go, you know. He's going to want to sit up after you bite for about 5 to 10 seconds. During that motion of him sitting up, you're going to let him. He sits up, you're going to grab, claw into the face as you trap an arm and roll him to here, okay? If he wraps you up, like any good grappler would, that's fine. You're going to posture up, grabbing the throat with your knee high, start slamming into the groin. He starts to roll, you're going to go for the pass here. Going into side mount. I'll get into the details on this later. I can rip the face. I go into full mount. I can rip the throat. The reason the details are going to come later is because this is not a flow that you would just do in the street. These are individual moves that you can do from different positions, okay? So don't think of it like you just bit this guy and ripped his face to get him off of you, that you want to grapple him anymore. I seriously doubt it. He's probably got blood spewing out places, and he's clawing at you at this point. Okay, so the best idea is to get up. You re-engage to get better at your grappling. Okay, so our first move.
You explain it and I'll demo because you're.
Oh, okay. Sure. So the first move, we'll start in the mount. He's going to buck him forward. As he stays covered, he's going to latch on tight, grab, bite towards the lap. When Mir sits up, he's grabbing towards the face, draping the leg. He rolls. He stays tight. He keeps his hand on the throat. As he goes to posture up with one leg, he can rack the groin and go to pass. He pushes his hips forward to keep the leg forward, so he keeps the pressure on the leg. He doesn't just go, okay. He stays tight with him, okay? From here, as you can tell, he's got his knee up behind his shoulder, so he can't just immediately roll back. From there, he puts his shoulder into Mir's jaw, pressing his jaw down. From here, he's got a good hold on his head. He can rake into the face. Eye gouges, and I got your nose will also work. From here, you're not going to lose contact. You're just going to swing the leg over, stay aggressive on top of him. You can rip out the throat from there. Okay? So that's our flow today. If you want to add insult to injury and drop a knee on him as you get up, that's perfectly fine too. Right across the throat.
Quick notes. After each individual portion, like Kyle said, you're getting up and leaving. So after each individual portion, you're getting up and leaving. You're getting up and leaving. What do you do on the way out?
Bow.
Bow. You are unworthy opponent. Now, for example, if I were to be fighting him right now, he went to go take me down, we lost control a little bit, we fell, and he happened to be a grappler. If he's not a grappler, then you're in good shape anyway. You're going to be able to smash this person. If he wraps you up like somebody that's smart, though, you can't go into, if you want to get up right now, you can't get into this. And then into like savvy movement. Breathing exercises, okay? If you want to grapple somebody, that's what you do. You know, you be patient. Patience is good in grappling. But in brutal solutions, patience is very dangerous, right? Because then somebody smashes a chair over the back of your head because you didn't see him coming, right? True story. I'm going to send you that video via email. Okay. This leg comes flying up. This is usually dangerous. He grabs my leg and does all kinds of fun things. He doesn't do it when I'm going boom, 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 baby. At this point, I get up and I can either smash the knee on the way out, smash the ankles on the way out, smash the face on the way out, whatever I want while I'm leaving. You pass, like Mr. Kyle said, the reason why you're passing this guard right now is so that you can get more practice. So now you're going to go into the next position. So we're only going from position to position for practice. We get into here, whether he wraps me up or not, it doesn't matter what he does. I'm going to point his face at me. I point his face at me by driving my shoulder into his face and putting all of my weight down onto my shoulder. So that I can position him here. So no matter what he's doing with his hand, even try and like grab my neck and push me away and stuff, I'm going to swim around him and shred into the eyes and face. I don't have to see him, I'm just going to rake in. Okay? If I can't get into the face, he turns away too much, I'm going to grab into the trachea and rip. When you rip the trachea, you never go like this. Okay? Because then you slip off, right? You're grabbing in, you're digging the thumb behind the C-shaped rings of cartilage, and you're peeling out, you're pushing through it like an arrow going through the inside of the neck. You understand what I'm saying with this? So you can cause the collapse. If you're trying to collapse, it's just C-shaped rings of cartilage, it's not bone. Okay? So you're pushing through this way. After I start the shredder, I'm getting up, right? And leaving. You know, as you know, when you're getting up and leaving and he's pushing me back because I just clawed his eyeballs, I'm pushing him and I'm putting my knee across the face and I'm going to jump off his face. Kangaroo style Kung Fu. Okay? Jump off his face. But for now, because we want to move into the next position, as he's pushing me off and giving me openings here in the midline, I'm going to cruise around while keeping my body weight on him. Pass the hand behind the neck, grab the throat, latch my hand to his throat, and start ripping. Ripping at the trachea repeatedly with the thumb. Okay? He pushes you back too far. You're still holding onto the ear. Because remember, you're behind him. Still holding onto the ear, and you shred, shred, shred. Cool? Cool, cool. And then if you want to be jiu-jitsu here, pass, sit back into the armbar or whatever have you. Okay? Okay? So, but don't worry, we're going to do chokes and arm bars and all that stuff. This is just really fun to get into brutal solution stuff, especially when we mix it up with this kind of variety. So let's do it fast. So we're going to be here. Well, not fast, but now. Faster. So I get to here. He sits back. I grab the face or the throat. I pass him. He wraps me up. I sit up via the throat. Bang, bang. I pass him. I get into here. I shred, shred, shred. I pass to here. I grab the throat. Rip, rip, rip. And now it's his turn. I'm in the mount. Fancy stuff, right? So now he does the same gig. Cool? Oh, you guys look excited. Yeah. Action.
Everything looks really good so far. You guys look like you're having a lot of fun with it. So options that you can consider. All right. Let's go. If you've got a really tall opponent and you're trying to roll this person, a lot of times it's hard to get the reversal with just the body movement, okay, even if you trap. So if you want to take your fist and slam into the groin a couple of times, push it through, as you lift the hip, that makes things a little easier to get the roll. Then when you pop up here, boom, boom, you're right back into the groin, okay? So what I did there, If you can't get this, say they have really long legs and you can't lift your hips that far. Maybe you haven't developed the muscular strength to propel your hips that high. After you get the bite and he goes to sit up, you can slam this through. Boom, boom. Get your hand through and cup your forearm. Let me go to this side. Like that, okay? As you do this here, I'm gonna lift in that direction to get him to roll this way, okay? If you go the other way, you're gonna give him the back. So, if you find it difficult to get this, like we warmed up with, just slam towards the groin, a couple times, boom, 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 get him to think about setting up, you grab, lock it in, and you lift. Boom, just like that. You stay in here tight. Pop up, boom, boom. Go into your regular flow, okay? That's your second option for the mount reversal. So let's give that a shot. Guys, get on about your day. Let me borrow you, Mike. Again, this is with a larger opponent on top. If you experience trouble grabbing the face, it's because you're waiting too long before you grab onto this person. So if there's a transition time between you're biting here and he sits up and you go, okay, now he can re-engage. It's gonna be set all the way up straight. I just bit this guy, so he's probably gonna give me a lot of room. It's gonna be really hard for me to reach and have any structure, especially if I tend to grab here, okay? So I actually wanna get behind his elbow. Let's rotate. I wanna get behind his elbow as I pull in. That way I weigh this shoulder down and I pin it to my body. That way when I get this, I am right into the face. Sorry, my cyborg finger. So when I roll him, I'm in much better position. I'm still trapping the arm, but I'm grabbing behind the elbow, and I'm not just grabbing here, okay? This is too weak. This is arm against pretty much his whole back. So as long as I weigh this down and keep it to me, it makes it much easier for me to access the face so I can get the roll if you guys are going with this roll here, okay? So just know that after you bite, he's gonna sit back pretty quickly. You get the bite. You wrap that arm up so you can access the face and get this roll here. Okay? You guys see it? Cool. Give it a shot.
Let me borrow, where's Mike? You just leave?
I think it's on the phone.
Turn it down a little bit. Okay, so here's the deal. You guys have a lot of options. We just haven't, given them to you. But obviously, when you're in a position where there's a lot of stuff that's close to you, you're probably starting to think of your own options, right? Your own ways of doing things. That's exactly what Jeet Kune Do is all about. So you've got to make it form to what you naturally think, what you naturally do. So with that in mind, don't be afraid to kind of experiment a little bit with these things. If you have experience in other martial arts systems, you're seeing openings for your old stuff. There's also nothing wrong with that. Remember, most of the instructors here hold black belt ranks in traditional like jiu-jitsu and Hapkido and stuff also. So there's 100 ways to do guard passing, mount reversals, side mount control, all that nonsense, okay? What we're giving you is the most brutal, straightforward, easy to use, no weight classes way of doing it. You understand that? So don't be like, well, I would do it like that. No, you probably wouldn't when the time comes, okay? So use this first, and then if you want to work in your other stuff, that's not a bad thing. Remember that. That's what Jeet Kune Do is all about. No system, right? It's not a system of doing it, it's the way you do it. Most importantly, I'm going to give you a couple of final little keys here, okay? Like little tricks, I guess you would say. From the mount, you could be doing your one of two things, right? You're biting, and then you're going to do the buck and roll. Make sure you've got your hand on something, okay? So like Mr. Kyle said, after you go bite, 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 if you wrap this up and grab the eyes, that's great. If you grab the throat, that's great. If you miss all of it, at least have your hand on the chest and arm, or at least grab the groin while you roll. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? When you get to this position and he wraps you up, while you're grabbing the throat and pushing back, see how I slid my right knee back? Everybody watch my right knee. Goes back. What do you think it's gonna do right before I lift up my left foot?
Hit him in the thigh or in the hamstring area.
I'm gonna slam him in the groin. So I'm gonna go boom, up, pop, pop. He's gonna give me lots of space when I slam my knee into the coccyx bone / groin, okay? So when I sit back with his throat, I slide down his body and I go reaming in with the knee, sit my foot up, boom, boom, and I get to here. Realistically, from here, instead of using this foot to come back into the side mount, you use this foot to stand up. What if he grabs your leg? That's quite all right. You take his face on the way out with you, okay? So if he grabs the foot, you do that. If he doesn't grab the foot and he's kind of balled up and you crack an ankle or smash a kneecap, okay, on your way out so he can't chase you, okay, because all you did was punch him in the groin, bite him, right? Okay, he might still want some, okay? So you're kneeing, this is your next little trick. You're pushing and kneeing, place, slam, slam. As you pass and you come down, I want you to use your shoulder like it's a strike. So I'm gonna come flying down onto his face, not my partner, obviously, okay? But I'm coming flying, boom, smashing my shoulder into the face. Smash, grab, rake. He's flipping out and pushing me back, and that's okay, because this is what I want. For him to push me right to here, so I can grab the throat. If he pushes me too far back, remember you pull his head up with you, so you can rake the eyes now. I'm not grabbing his ear like I should, because he was pushing really hard. So when somebody really pushes hard and you're don't push me hard this time.
Don't?
And don't push hard because I have your ear. When you're really grabbing the ear and somebody pushes you back, you're literally tearing the ear off this way so that you get this nice side angle of his face. Okay? If he doesn't push you off and instead he's trying to like wrap you up or hold you to his body, then you're like, thank God, this is my lucky day. Dig. And what I'm doing here is I'm putting my thumb behind the trachea, putting my body onto his face so I can flatten his face a little bit so that I can go grab behind and shove towards the pavement so I can really get that good rip, okay? So that's a nice position for you. After you do anything mount related that's destructive to the eyes or to the throat, as he pushes you back, after you've torn out the throat, he can't breathe, you're holding the face down, putting the knee on the face, and pushing off with your legs. So you're always keeping his head pinned sideways while you're getting up. You never just like rip the throat and then you're like, oh, that was awesome. Yeah. Okay. Somebody get that on camera? Yeah, well, yeah, anyway. Yeah, have somebody like that walk around with you every time you go downtown. Wear something reflective so it's got a good view. Anyway, so those little tricks, holding on to the ear, dropping the shoulder down into the face as a weapon, and using the knee to the coccyx bone / groin after you push off of the throat. Good thing you weren't right there. Slam, and then that's when you place boom, 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 okay? After you hit the groin, remember, the only reason why you're passing is because it's training so you can get training from the side mount too. So when you two come to the ground, that's probably not what you wanted to do, correct?
Yeah.
So would it be fair to say you could land in almost any position? Almost any position. If he just flipped out or if you got blindsided by his buddy while you were in neck control or something and you both hit the ground, it could be on the side, on top, on bottom, wrapped up, not wrapped up. Who knows? So we've got to give you stuff from every place with tricks of the trade that feel natural, okay? Any questions about today's drills? Okay, you will have this eventually on superioracademy.com. So if you want to practice at home with a partner or something, you'll have the full lesson. The reason why we're filming so much is so you have more material. We don't have enough material for you on the internet. So we're going to put it on there. We're trying not to get you in the video in case you're a criminal and you don't want your face, out there or something. Anyway. Okay, stick around and all the little tricks I just gave you, practice between now and the next class.